Let's say we are in the simulation. We call it the game of life. So like any game, there is a code of conduct. There is a community rule. So we've all been told that the golden rule is this code of conduct, really about respecting others and respecting their right to exist. And in a sense, that is the community rule, that we are all given this opportunity to experience life, and we are given free will to make our choices about how we experience life. And we are meant to respect and honor everyone else's choices, right? It's the fundamental community rule. It is universal. We're all taught this ethical and moral code of conduct. Every religion, every ethical teaching is often called the rule of reciprocity. So treat others as you'd like to be treated. Don't do to others what you wouldn't like. So sometimes it's conveyed as a positive, sometimes it's conveyed as a negative. You shouldn't harm others, you shouldn't intend suffering, treat others justly, be considerate, be kind, treat others as equals. We're meant to think of them as ourselves. We're not meant to be hypocrites, right? We're not supposed to do things to other people that we don't like. You can see my arm moving. I'm petting my dog, who is like my greatest teacher when it comes to all these things. We have empathy and we have this heart connection between each other. We're meant to feel these things. We all have a conscience that reminds us of the rules. We feel guilty when we treat others or ourselves with disrespect, with unkindness. We cause harm. It's not just about be kind to others, be kind to yourself. And some people need to be reminded to be kind to others, and some people need to be reminded to be kind to themselves. But we're meant to equally respect, right? And so this is all about mutual respect. The golden rule includes it all, right? Everything in balance. We're living in a world divided, full of competition, full of destruction, full of suffering. This is what happens when we ignore the rule. We have internal and external suffering. We are ignoring this fundamental code of conduct to respect ourselves and each other. We were given one rule. Almost 500 million people living in extreme poverty, earning less than $1 a day. 2,153 billionaires earning $4,000 to $8,000 per minute. Currently, 10 official wars, 8 active military conflicts, and other violent conflicts involving 64 countries. Only have 8.4% of the population freely living in full democracies. 41% live in flawed democracies. 15% live in hybrid democracies. 35.6% live in repressive authoritarian regimes, and 40.3 million people are living in slavery and forced labor. We're really not following this rule. We're completely out of balance. More than 35 million people dying from chronic disease. Chronic disease is all preventable. 792 million diagnosed with mental disorders. 264 million suffering from depression, 284 million suffering from anxiety. Something's going on here. 8.9 million people die from heart disease, which is the #1 cause of death. And isn't it interesting that the golden rule is all about returning to our hearts? Ding, ding, ding. You look at other species, they don't hoard, they don't take more than they need, so everything is in balance. We're throwing things out of balance. Having a code of conduct, all species really have this. They have communities. There is a respect even between species of that's your territory, this is mine. It's really humans that are having this problem with respecting ourselves, respecting each other, respecting other species. Humans killing trillions of non-human animals. Humans cut down and destroy 15 billion trees every year. We've put 1 million species at risk of extinction. We have 7.6 billion humans, and we're only 0.01% of the inhabitants on this planet. You're lucky that the game of life doesn't have super strict community regulations, because we would all get our asses booted. I mean, we're facing consequences And we're seeing it all around us. Look at the pandemic. Someone likely got bitten by a bat, right? They got injected because those were very sharp little teeth. Why did they get bitten? Because that bat wanted to be left alone. We weren't respecting other creatures. There is a risk that humans might get booted because we refuse to follow the rule. We're better than this. We aren't better than this. We know what we're supposed to do. No, this doesn't need to be a world full of fear and hate and anger and despair and war and suffering. People are questioning this. I actually believe in peace and love and joy and freedom, and that these are the values that we're meant to be creating and establishing and fostering. And that is actually the point of life, is to realize that we have a choice, both individually and collectively, to shift and to return ourselves and our world to balance. It doesn't mean that it's easy, but we can start in small steps. Everything in balance. All of that is pretty much in the rule. We were given one rule.